It's your boy Pointless Efforts. Don't forget the Z, bitch. Yo, I'm from Corona, Queens, New York. I'm a nomad on the States, man. I'm from Left Rack City originally. I moved out to Jersey in high school for like 2 years just to explore a little bit. Went back to New York and the world was mine after that, man. I started conquering. I went and had that manifest destiny like feeling inside, and I had to hit up California when I was 19. I tried to go perform with some greats, and eventually I guess I got like sidetracked when I was 19. I had to take a hiatus from the music, but I'm back, bitches. For real, for real.
Give me a little detail about why you had to take the hiatus.
Well, in 2011, I landed in the city of Vallejo, California. Vallejo's known for like great music legends like E40, Mac Dre, people of that nature. CC Sabathia's from out there. There's a lot of great talent in Vallejo. And when I got over there, I met this guy named Tim Parker. Shout out to my brother Tim Parker. He's a male soprano vocalist, an OG. He's worked with the greats anywhere from Mac Dre, 240. Been in the studio with Dr. Dre and all the greats, man. Good friends of Andre Nicotina and Young Lay. And I met this guy. I was selling some like food stamps, trying to get some cash for that shit. And he was like, "What are you doing out here? You can't be doing that shit out here." And I said, "Bruh, I need to get this money." You know what I'm saying? So he brought me to a spot like down the road. It was kind of sketchy. And I started noticing people knew him. And they were like, "Yo," I'm like, I like, "What do you do, man?" He's like, "Nothing." And I'm like, "Nah, you do something, bro." So I got it out of him. He's a male vocalist. Been featured on a lot of people's projects. So I started working with this guy, and we went to a studio out in San Francisco. It was like a sub outlet of Disney, and it was crazy because we were working in the studio for like weeks, just trying to pitch songs to these different producers. And one day we go to the studio, and the studio vanished on the pier. Like it was nothing there. There was like a MIDI keyboard and a desk left. Like they just packed up the whole studio, and it was the first time I got my music robbed. You know, I realized what happened. So I was suspicious of my boy Tim until I kept building this relationship with him. We went to a studio session where somebody else tried the same thing on us. And I realized, okay, people are trying to steal my IP, my intellectual property, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my music. People are obviously digging it. So he actually got that music back for us. He secured it in a way that I can't talk about here. But I appreciate him so much. But I had to take a fall back and realize, man, there's more to the music than just making it. There's a whole business aspect, and you got to be very careful out there. Just a quick little warning, so I took my hiatus. COVID, though, you know, I seen some of my friends blow up in COVID just by being online and interacting with the world that was trying to reach out to each other. So to see that, it was like such a beautiful thing. And I was about to hit 30 years old, so I turned 30 December 30th. I'm a 91 baby, so I said, I can't go out like this. I was 29. I said, I gotta go perform. You know, it's been 10 years since I really performed. And I started hitting the fucking stages, 30-minute sets, straight rapid fire, bro. And that's what we're doing right now. We outside.
So what are the biggest like stages that you hit up?
So we've been in Jersey. New York's been shut down. But I've been at Jimmy's Bar and Grill in Kearney. I've been in Boulevard at Elmwood Park. Claremont Distillery was one of my joints out in Fairfield. We did Trill Night at the Art Factory last year. That was fucking amazing. Man, there's just so many little, we did at Capitol Sound Studios. We did Pass the Mic over there. And my home spot is Vibes on Wednesdays. But then I started like, that was all last year. And then right at the end of the year, I got a hit up from some chick, man. Her name was like Stephanie. And I found this fucking place right here, Absalom, yo. Woo, man, talk about home base, man. I'm trying to make this my new home base. Shout out to Vibes, though. Shout out to Absalom. These are my two staples right now. Holding us down in the pandemic. We were still active. She opened a business in the pandemic, and she opened the doors for us, and it's been nothing but great vibes here. Great time.
So you just started performing again. Like, tell me a little bit about like how you performed before your hiatus. Like, was it like the same kind of fucking, you know, energy, or was it
well, energy wise, I was much wilder as I was young. You know, I was 19. I was trying to go out, but I didn't know how to perform correct. Like, I would just rap in front of a mic. Now that I'm matured, I realize that I'm an MC, and I'm an MC of a different caliber. Like, I don't really do none of that new age stuff. We can get on those tracks, but I'm a 90s hip hop core era MC, you know. I'm bumping Nas, I'm bumping Black Thought, Common, I'm bumping Talib, like on a regular. Tupac still on the playlist, you know what I'm saying? So
What's your
Thug Life.
favorite Tupac album?
Oh, you know what? I love them all, but Thug Life, bro,
Thug Life.
because it was a compilation of him and the crew, and Under Pressure is one of my favorite songs, bro, of all time. You know Under Pressure?
No, I don't think so.
Oh man,
My favorite
running
was
wild, I
Machiavelli.
never smiled as a juvenile. Even now, I give a frown when I come around. Don't ask me about the past; it was all black. Yo, you gotta hear that shit. In the heart is in the dark is where my heart saw the most grief. Motherfuckers is getting shanked over gold teeth. Am I sick? Cause I'm addicted to getting splifted. Come on, watch a stupid ass tricks get it lifted. Oh man, Tupac was so ahead of his time, bro. So I get into my zone when I hear Pac. I gotta rap him, you know what I mean?
So you were a bigger Pac fan than was it like Biggie? Like
Oh
there's
yeah,
always, like, that
100.
vibe.
I love Biggie. I learned Biggie is one of the realest MCs that came about, flow wise, delivery. But to me, it was more. It was like art. It was like display. So it was beautiful. But Pac, he moved the nation, bro. What he was doing was message, and that's where I'm at. My name is Pointless Efforts, because the efforts ain't nothing. Everything kind of pointless out here until you put that effort in. Pointless stands for preying on individuality. Nevertheless, everything's still the same. So it's just a theory that I've seen out here. Like we try to reinvent ourselves, but we're really just imitating what we've seen before and just making better versions of it. And Pac put that in my head since I was young. I didn't know how to survive my youth if it wasn't for people like Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Biggie was definitely the party ghost. So like, you know, you need that energy, you know, but I was definitely Pac over everything.
10G Commandments was one of my like fucking favorite fucking songs growing
It's
up.
super.
Yeah.
You know, for him, from Biggie's collection, "Sky's the Limit" is one of my favorite because it's something that I really related to. You know, sewing tigers on my shirts and alligators. You want to see the insides? I see you later. Like I felt that. You know, but unfortunately, that wasn't always his style. But it was one of the greatest styles I've ever seen. You know, so I'm not a hater at all.
So, well, you said when you were 19 you didn't perform as much, but you're performing like more now.
Oh yeah, I perform every week, like 2-3 times a week if I can.
So
can
did you
catch
have
me
to
out here in
like
Jersey.
overcome some kind of like hurdle for that? Like,
Yeah, you gotta embrace your fear. Like them shakes, those nerves that you get, you just gotta jump over that hurdle, man. It's one of those things that I've learned over time. Like I'm from the projects, man, and I always had this like nervousness with me, you know, being like interacting with a lot of hood shit or trying to get better. You know, I was actually one of them people like Kendrick, good kid, mad city. You know what I mean? Like I really was. I was the oldest in my family, but I had to get down because of the pressure of society, and I had to do a lot of things I wasn't too proud of. And when you do those kind of things, they still stain with you. So yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Like, but you if you can tune that and channel it out, yo, that's God speaking, bro. Like, I'm not even a religious person or anything like that in a sense. I'm just a universal person, man. And that feeling is what makes us human, you know. In the Matrix, they say, like, to deny our own impulses, deny the very thing that makes us human. Like, that's 100 for real, for real.
so give me a little detail about like your child. Like, do you mind if I ask you about like your childhood? You know,
Yeah, nah, please, feel free,
Yeah,
feel free.
'cause, like-
I'm from, so my mom raised us four alone. We grew up in the projects. We used to move like every 3 to 6 months. So I say the projects because a good 5 years of the bracket time was in Left Rack City. That's when 9/11 happened. We was living in Left Rack City. I used to see the towers. So when the towers fell and all that shit, I was in school. I came home. I seen the city in smoke for months. It was fucking crazy. So it traumatized us, you know what I'm saying? But we had a hard upbringing. Like my pops, rest his soul, he passed in COVID actually. He was a guy, he wasn't really there in our development years, but he started coming around more as we was adults. So I do appreciate him for that. But it was hard because I was the eldest, so I had to fight a lot. I had to understand society and its rules on my own. And, you know, a lot of us just had to do things, like I said, we wasn't too proud of, but it shaped us. And now I could wear that stuff with pride and talk to people about my experience and say, man, how we gonna do better for the next one? You know, so yeah, I don't like to reflect on the bad too much. I already lived it. You're gonna hear it and see it, you know.
Is your mom still around?
Yeah, my mom. Yeah, she's so dope. She's hella young. She only 16 years older than she's 46. So,
Jesus, man, like that must
and
have
my
been
mom's
tough on her,
like I'm a
man.
G. My mom's a real G. Like
Yeah.
like people know, in Corona they know my mom's. Her name ring bells. So, shout out to my Dukes.
So, what about your siblings? Are you like? And actually, let me retract that.
Go ahead.
What does your mom think about your music career?
Oh,
Like,
she always encourages. That song "Hey Mama" from Kanye. That was like I dedicated to my mom when I was younger because it's the first time I heard a song that was really like, yeah. I was tired of singing "Dear Mama" because that mom wasn't a fiend, so it wasn't that same relatable. But when I heard "Hey Mom," I'm like, Mom was the one always supporting me. When I seen that Kanye documentary, that was my mom growing up all the way. She showed up to our recitals. I used to do the piano. Showed up to all my sisters' softball games, things of that nature. Like, you just can't take that away. Shout out to my mom. She was really one of the best supporters. She actually came down to like 2 of my shows. She was at my first show in Queens back when I was like 17, 18. And I love you, Ma. Just so if you ever see this, it's your boy.
So
I'm a
what do you think?
knucklehead, but she loved me.
So what do you think about like the change in Queens right now? Like, I mean, like I noticed that Queens kind of is a different vibe than it was used to. Like
Well,
it was
everything,
before.
man. I saw Queens. I would say I saw Queens deteriorate and rebuild, but rebuild without Queens. I think everywhere, like kind of like the states. Just so you know, whether you're from here to Vallejo, California, or to when I spent time down in Georgia, the states are changing, and it wasn't just gentrification. It was the tide of the times. Like we got internet, we got people are not trying to show up to so many events now, so you lose that energy. You know, I grew up going to Queens Shea Stadium. That shit was undeniable energy. I go to the Met Stadium now. It's still a great place. You can never replicate what the early 2000s and 90s was. And that's because we weren't so about ourselves and on our phones like this. Like, look, I got this shit by my phone, by my lap right now. It's just kind of crazy. I remember having to wait for somebody by the train station. I remember having to say, yo, I'll meet you in 10. You got to be there in 10. And if you're not there in 15, I'm out. And you're going to skip out and we're not going to see each other for 2-3 weeks, because that's how it was. So I miss that. I miss that. I miss old Queens. But I'm also, feel very sad in New York City right now with all the violence that's been going on because I remember in the 2000, like when 50 Cent came out, it was like that. Like people were wilding. But even then, I didn't feel as, I don't know, it feels more eerie now, I guess because we've seen so many pandemics, we've been shut down, you see the world's at war again, it's like, why are we still everybody fighting, bro? It's not making sense. So I pray for my people in Queens, I pray for my people all over the place, man. For real, for real.
What would you say to your like past self for like advice, or even just you just said that like the next one, the next gen. Well, what kind of advice would you give those kinds of kids, or just even your past self?
Seek some kind of guidance. I found some guidance in music. I straight up, I grew up with 50 Cent in my ear blaring, but when I heard Common, the B album, that changed my life because he was a B-boy, he was a gangster, he was a real Chicago head, but he went to school in Louisiana, he went to go get his degree, he was still doing music uplifting, and he'll break it down to you, bro, and it was just something I really related to. Not everybody has those outlets, but that's where I'm coming in. I feel like somebody kind of didn't pass me that ball, and I want to pass the ball to the youth. There's a big somebody's missing that torch, the torch passing. Like I grew up in ciphers and battle raps, and somebody tell you, homie, that was whack. Yo, you got to get that 16 better. You got to come harder. On my new album, I got Game Over, a story told in COVID. It's dropping this month, May 25th. I talk about it. I talk about, I was reading an article on Pharoah Monch. He was talking about the 20th anniversary of one of their albums, 25th anniversary. And he said, when me and Prince Paul was in the studio, OC would record them from digging in the crates. And he said, if you weren't ready with your verse, he would snap on you for weeks. You had to take it in one take. If you couldn't do it in one take, you're wasting their time and money. And that shit was valuable back then. So I wish we kind of held that to a chord for now. Like even that time is so valuable. You can't take that back. So if I tell you, yo, meet me at somewhere at 6 o'clock, I expect you to meet me there, It's one of those things. So if I would tell myself something too when I was younger, I would just say, man, keep believing in yourself. You know, to the youth too, believe in whatever that thing is that you do that you know that like people don't like. Just keep doing that because it's you. It's only your life. Like ain't nobody else doing it for you. And that's what I spit in my music a lot. It's like nobody gonna do it for you. You know, I was always the guy. I'm 6'3". I'm a threat out here, but I was always a teddy bear. You know, and I let a lot of disrespect slide because I felt like I had the higher grounds. But that's not the way either. You gotta let yourself shine out here, man. Pointless.